Today, let's discuss about fundamentals of agricultural extension education. The idea is to discuss about objectives and principles of extension education. Let's start with the introduction. According to Millard Horton, it was 1952, there were 4 principles that were given for the extension. The individual is supreme in democracy. That was his first comment. The home is a fundamental unit in a civilization. The family is the first training group of the human race. And the foundation of any permanent civilization must rest on the partnership of a man and the land. So, what this means is that in any democracy, the individual is the most important aspect. And homes, they are the fundamental unit in any civilization. For any human being, for any child, it is the family which starts to train the child in the first place, and therefore the family is the first training ground for the human race. And where will a person raise his family? Place where he has a home. And to build a home, you have to have a particular land. So there is a fundamental relationship or a partnership between the man and the land. So what are the objectives of extension work? The objectives in extension work are threefold. First, to help people reach higher levels of living. This is physically, mentally, and spiritually. The idea is that the individual should be living in a physically good place, mentally good place, and spiritually good place. There should be no sort of negativity or disease or disorders associated in a living area. Second, to reach these higher levels of living, people must be educated and trained to meet their responsibilities in relation to God, to their neighbors, and to themselves. The concepts being that there should be enough education and enough training so that these individuals can survive on their own. And third, they must also know how to meet the responsibilities imposed by their environment. So we work with them as individuals, as families in the home, and with their environment. If a particular area doesn't has enough water, then the individuals are supposed to make sure that they are saving water in the ways which are actually possible. There are three major things that you have to understand more. There are objectives of extension. These objectives are expression of the ends towards which our efforts are directed. There are fundamental objectives. The fundamental objectives of extension is the development of the people of destination man. In other words, it is to develop the rural people economically, socially, and culturally by means of education, etc. To increase socio-economic status and standard of living of Indian farming community. And then you have your working objectives. This is the one which focuses on specific activity of a specific group in a selected geographic area. For example, to increase the yield of PKM1 of the tomato among the tomato growers of Mudukararai block in Coimbatore district. This is just an example. The major objective of extensions may also be categorized as following. Material, that is to increase production and income. Educational, change the outlook of people or develop the individuals. Social and cultural, that is development of the community. So, what are the principles underlying the philosophy of extension? Extension is an organization to plan, execute, and evaluate programs with the people and not for the people. Without planning, nothing can happen. Right? It is an organization set up to teach people and motivate them. Right? What exactly is happening? We are going to motivate them to take action. not to dictate what people should do. We should help them do these things on their own. Right? Same is the concept with your, it should help people to help themselves. That is, we should not be feeding them, we should be teaching them how to earn their own food. Extension should be based on felt needs and enlightened desires of the people. Right? It should be based on the felt needs and enlightened desires of the people. This is like, if they have a particular requirement, fisheries हो गई, problem of irrigations हो गए, तो उस case में we should be able to help them. How can we improve that? If we can help them improve that particular situation, they will feel better. They will improve. And extension should reach the people where they are. Right? Extension should always work with the people, and this extension should be able to reach to the people rather than these people coming to us for help. Then we have extension aims and objectives should not be rigid. It should be flexible. Yeah. If they are going to be rigid, it is going to be difficult to people to follow them who are unable to follow them at that particular time. We have to see on ground situations, and we should be able to manipulate these objectives so that individuals are benefited. Right? Sometimes it happens that individuals do not have time, nor do they have the manpower to do a particular work. So if you are going to be rigid with that, they will be falling difficult. Then extension should change the people and not the subject matter. Then extension should work in harmony with the culture of the people. Then democratic procedures must be adopted in the formulation and execution of the programs. This is group ideas only. And finally, the designated programs should give greatest benefit to greatest number of people in the society. So what's happening here is that we have to make sure that there is no rigidity, and whatever things we are trying to do is there in order for the people that they benefit. At the same time, it should be able to help the individual change their own lifestyle, their work ethics, and there should be harmony within the people who are living at that particular area. The most important thing is that democratic procedures are important because you cannot force your extension practices on a particular organization. For example, if democratic policies are not going to be followed, big industrial companies, they are going to force their work ethics, extension practices on poor farmers. Therefore, they should be benefiting the greatest number of people in a society. We have to assist people to discover and analyze their problems, their felt and unfelt needs. These are the certain functions. To develop leadership among people and help them in organizing groups to solve their problems. So that the idea is the individuals can identify their problems, and if they are able to identify their problem, then they can work on that problem and it can be addressed. If a leadership is bad, then analysis of the problem is going to be bad, because people are going to continue to work on the poor leadership and they won't be able to work on identifying of the problems. Then, to disseminate information based on research and or practical experiences in such a manner that the people would accept it and put it into actual practice. This is another important aspect. This information should reach people so that they will accept it. If you're going to give big jargons and big words to a particular farmer who doesn't understand the concept, they are not going to accept that practical research. Then, to keep the research workers informed of the people's problems from time to time, so that they may offer solutions based on necessary research. If the people who are working at the scientific level do not know about the individual's problems at the grassroots level, they will not be working to identify solution to that problem. And finally, to assist people in mobilizing and utilizing the resources which they have and which they need from outside. For example, to increase the production and productivity of paddy in India. There are certain issues with mobilizing or utilizing the particular resources. So, if people are unable to mobilize a particular resource or people are unable to utilize a particular resource, then the idea is to assist those individuals. let's move on to some concepts that are there in extension education. We have the first one as teaching plan of work, then we have evaluation, reconsideration, then we have objectives and solution. The first step consists of collection of facts and analysis of the situation. In this step, we are trying to basically acknowledge people about the facts and informations. Well, what is the actual problem in that particular area? We have to first identify the facts and situation about the situation as well as the individual themselves and their enterprises, the economic, social, cultural, physical and technological environment in which they live and work. We have to be able to identify these situations at the grassroots level. These may be obtained by appropriate surveys and establishing rapport with the people. Well, you cannot sit at one place and expect that all this information can come to you. The idea is to collect data. The responses obtained are to be analyzed with the local people to identify the problems and resources available in the community. If these responses that you have obtained are not analyzed with the local people, and if they are analyzed at a high level committee only, then it is going to be difficult, because these problems are basically grassroots problems, and individuals at a higher places are not the sufferer, so they do not know the exact actual issue. So the whole concept goes, the first thing that you have to do is you have to identify the issues which are there. You have to collect the facts, you have to analyze these facts, these facts are associated with the individuals, these facts are associated with their enterprise or economy or cultural, physical or technological environment which they live in. And then when they are obtained via a particular way which is generally and socially acceptable. For example, you have surveys, and then once you have identified these responses, then you should go for their analysis. The second step is deciding on certain objectives which may be accomplished by the community. A limited number of objectives should be selected by involving the local individuals. You should not go for if you're going to try and solve too many problems at the same time, it is not going to be possible. So the limited number of objectives should be selected, and the idea is to be develop the individuals economically and socially. The objectives should be specific and clearly stated, and on completion should bring satisfaction to the community. So these realistic objectives, which the idea is to identify objectives which you can actually fulfill or come to a conclusion to. If you're going to take many objectives at the same time, it is going to be very difficult for the individuals who are working there to fulfill these objectives. And these should state the behavioral changes in people as well as economic and social outcome desired. The idea is to identify problems and to work on them, but you cannot do the whole work on all the type of issues. The third step is teaching. It involves choosing what should be taught, the content, and how the people should be taught, the methods and aids to be used. It requires selecting research findings of economic and practical importance relevant to the community, and selection and combination of appropriate teaching methods and aids. They are based on problems identified in the particular example, as technologies like use of high variety of seeds, application of fertilizers, etc. And results demonstration, method demonstration, farmers training, and farm publication are chosen as teaching methods. The fourth step is evaluating the teaching, that is, determining the extension to which the objectives have been reached. To evaluate the results of an educational program objectively, it is desirable to conduct a re-survey. एक बार और survey करवा लेना चाहिए. The evidence of changed behavior should be collected, which shall not only provide a measure of success, but shall also indicate the deficiencies, if any. In the previous example, the re-survey after the fixed period of time indicated that the crop yield has increased by 10% and further work is required. The fifth step is reconsideration of the entire extension educational program on the light of the result of evaluation. The problems identified in the process of evaluation may become the starting point for the next phase of the extensional educational program, unless new problems have developed or new situations have arisen. After reconsideration of the results of evaluation with the people, the teaching objectives can be again set up. So what does this scheme gives to the individual? It gives them training on agricultural implements and preparation, cottage industries, carpentries, etc. And it was based on self-sufficiency of rural cum urban in all essential requirements of life. Later, a township can be subsequently handed over to the government of a particular region. For example, in this case, government of Punjab. After bifurcation of Punjab, Nilokheri went to Haryana state. Now we have National Agricultural Technology Project, NATP. The project was initiated by Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, with the financial assistance of World Bank, and would be implemented with the assistance of MANAGE in 28 districts covering 7 states, with Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, Orissa, Punjab, over a period of 5 years. That is from 1998 to 2003. So this project was initiated by the Ministry of Agriculture, and it was helped by the World Bank. It was managed under both the organization in 28 states. districts, and there were 7 states which were involved in these 28 districts. And wherever they saw that there was poverty which was to be addressed, so this project was used there. The World Bank assisted NATP, this National Agriculture Technology Project, and it aimed at improving research and extension services. The projects that were going to be given or financed by the World Bank, the idea was to improve research and extension. These were the crucial years. It has been 30 to 40 years post independence, and they wanted to know and understand the actual ground situation of that particular area. So that's why these agriculture technology projects were assisted by the World Bank. The idea was how these technology projects are going to improve the lives of individuals at a farming level. The research component of NATP is being implemented by the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR, and the extension component by the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation. The people who were provided with these aids, they were under the supervision of ICAR and Department of Agriculture and Cooperation. The different project implementing agencies, that is PIAs, involved in implementation of ITD components of NATP, these included your DOE, Directorate of Extension. Then you have your MANAGE, National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management. Then you have NATP cell at state headquarters. Then you had your State Agricultural Management and Extension Training Institute, SAMETI. And then you had your district level Agricultural Technology Management Agencies, that is ATMAs, ATMAs. The idea is, if anybody had any problems, if there were any drawbacks, or if there were any sort of limitations or problems or issues, they can directly go to these individual organization and state headquarters, and they will be able to try and identify for some solution. The Samiti was initiated to train the individuals. The idea was to train the individuals, and it informed about what are the aims, how is to be done, what are the advantages, so these were the things which were associated with your Samiti. And since the funding was coming from World Bank, the finances were not major issues, and there were so many other factors which were also being implemented by these institutes. The district level requirement of these organization was, the idea was to, there should be a proper linkage between the farmers and the higher organization. The extension component, termed as Innovation and Technology Dissemination, ITD, it is what we called as Innovation and Technology Dissemination. It is an integrated extension delivery at district level and is being pilot tested in 7 participating states. These are your Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, Orissa and Punjab. The idea was to see and identify how much these areas are lacking in technology. The purpose was to test new approaches to technology transfer, new organizational arrangements and operational procedures. The idea was that ITD is going to go for implementation of technologies and how much the individuals are capable of identifying the procedures, how to carry out a particular work and if the individuals are capable of raising their concerns. One of the goal is to decentralize decision making to the district level through the creation of ATMA, that is Agricultural Technology Management Agency, as a registered society. This ITD basically wanted to come up with some facts to see if people are able to make decisions on certain situations of their own. Now, NADP was a national thing, and before ICAR came, so NADP was functioning at a national level, but at district level the information was moving from both top to bottom and bottom to top in an easier manner. So because it used to take a lot of time from the farmer for the information to reach the higher level, but after this state level agencies at district level so the information started moving forward and backward in a very quicker way. The farmers were able to directly go to the people at ATMA. The second goal is to increase farmer input into program planning and resource allocation, especially at the block level, and increase accountability to stakeholders. That is, they also wanted to increase the farmers' input into the program. The farmers, they are the one who are going to use a particular equipment or a particular research. So it is important that their input is also important. It is also important to identify whether these farmers are actually having certain issues or not, because sometimes what happens is that information or whatever research is there, it can be sent directly to the individuals who are not going to use them, and if it is not going to be used, then there is no point in utilizing, or there's going to be no utilization of that particular research. This is a research which is going to be wasted. So the idea is to increase farmers' input. The third goal is to increase program coordination and integration. After the stakeholder is involved, the people will be interested, and they will be interested according to the benefit. If there is a direct benefit, then they will be more useful. So the funds is to be provided to 28 pilot districts in 7 states to create agriculture technology management agencies, that is Atmas, which will bring together researchers, extension, farmers and other stakeholders. The idea is to make, on the basis of joint diagnostic studies, district extension plans and recommendation for expanded adaptive research to introduce innovations in technology dissemination matched to local needs and characteristics. So once there is going to be the increase in coordination, and once there is going to be integration of different type of technologies, it is going to be definitely beneficial to all the individuals who are actually working there. If the individuals are not working there in a particular situation, if they are not able to understand, then problems cannot be answered, and only way to solve that particular problem is to go for coordination and integration. So these coordinations are going to be between different agencies, different farmers, different villages, and integration is going to be associated with your different type of techniques, different type of industries, different type of scientific backgrounds, in order to improve the particular situation. So the districts which have been identified and states that have been identified for the pilot testing. So you have your Andhra Pradesh, Kurnool is there, Chittoor is there, Parkasam, Adilabad, Bihar, then you have Jharkhand, Himachal Pradesh, Maharashtra, Orissa, Punjab, these are all there. So in each of the pilot districts, an agricultural technology management agency or Atma is to be established as a registered society for integrating research and extension activities.